I think I'd talked to Coach Moore a couple times back in high school, but just going into the portal and talking to her and just also understanding how she's built this program from the bottom up and playing y'all.
I was going to say, although you transferred to a new conference, you were very familiar because, I mean, we played, in my career, I played Tennessee 3 times in 5 years, but I believe you played Indiana twice in 3 years, which is kind of a lot.
It is a lot, yeah.
So what was that? Was that like something that helped like play a role too? Like you remember playing against us, like something we did, or?
Yeah, definitely. When we would scout y'all, like we would know this is a team that is going to outwork you to beat you, and that is like was at the top of my list for like pros of a team that I would want to be on. And so obviously playing y'all at home and you coming into our house, I think you beat us both times. Yeah. So I just saw how hard everybody worked and how y'all played together, and I really appreciated that and knew that was something I wanted to be a part of.
Welcome back to The Player's Perspective, a podcast hosted by Mackenzie Holmes and powered by Hoosiers Connect. As the official NIL collective of IU Athletics, Hoosiers Connect provides exclusive access to IU student athletes, offering fans an inside look at their lives both in and out of competition. Tune in weekly to hear stories and perspectives from the incredible athletes that make Hoosier Nation proud.
Karoline, how are you today?
I'm great, Mac. How are you?
I'm good. We got a special guest you want to introduce.
Come here, Penny. Come on.
Who is this?
Oh, Penny.
I don't even know if the camera can get her.
She's getting camera shy. Come here.
We have introduced Penny.
Say hey.
Tell us about Penny.
This is Penelope. She's 7 months. She's a wiener dog, and she's my pride and joy.
What went into you deciding to get a dog?
So I originally wanted to bring my childhood dog to college, but my grandparents got very attached to her when she was staying with them. And so this lady from my hometown was selling a bunch of Dachshunds that looked just like her. So I was like, okay, I'll take.
Easy decision.
Yeah.
Is this your first pet, or did you have pets in the past? As a college student, not so much from.
Yeah. Actually, me personally, I did not have a pet, but I moved in with a girl named Karoline last December, and she had a little orange cat named Garfield. We co-named him Garfield. He was really
very
cute.
Creative.
Yeah, right. He looked just like Garfield. He had like a big belly. He hated Mondays, so yeah.
That's funny. So that was back in Tennessee.
Yeah.
So tell me about your transition from Tennessee to IU, and I guess more so talk about your experience first at Tennessee and how that's kind of shaped you into becoming a Hoosier.
Yeah. Tennessee was a fun experience. I really enjoyed not only playing on the court, but all the off the court things. There were a lot of things that set me up academically to meet a lot of new people and participate in a lot of different opportunities. Like I studied abroad my sophomore year, and I went to London and Paris, and I made these 3 really good friends, and we just stuck it out until I left last year. We're still really good friends, but I really liked it there. It was more of I want to say city vibe than it is here in Bloomington, so that transition was interesting. Just the apartment I lived in last year, everything was walkable.
Right.
And now here I'm getting in my car and driving to this huge campus that it's also very pretty, which I appreciate. But it's just, 2 different settings, and I really enjoyed both of them.
So how does studying abroad work as being a college student? Did that happen in the summer, or how does it work?
It had to work out perfectly.
Right.
It was definitely divine intervention for it to work out. But it was we went home, I think May 18th, and had to be back June 4th, and that was literally the time.
So it was a shorter
it was
abroad
a little
program.
Summer mini term type thing. I guess that's 3 weeks. And it was actually with the agricultural college, and we literally just went to a different garden in so many different cities, and we had to journal about the garden and stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So I also met people that I would have never met
right
in the journalism college. So
all Tennessee students, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it was all Tennessee. Had 2 really great professors, Mike and Andy. They really were passionate about plants. And so I actually have a little bit of plant knowledge now. Don't ask me anything
I was
specific,
just about to ask, share some plant knowledge with us.
There's one very specific thing that I picked up from the trip, and because they would always point this out. I don't know if this was in their curriculum to learn about, but it's this plant called, it could be the species. So don't quote me on this, but
I don't think anyone's gonna. You can say whatever. I would think you're correct.
It's the hosta plant, and basically it's a little heart-shaped fern type plant. And yeah, the teacher would always be like, Karoline, what type of plant this is? And I'd be like, that's the hosta.
Wow. So are those native to Europe or?
No, actually, I find them a lot in my everyday life.
Really?
Yes, I
don't know if I know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, I'm gonna send you a picture because now you're gonna recognize them.
Maybe
everywhere.
we can put a picture of a hosta plant right there.
This is the hosta plant.
I've never heard of that.
I recognize them walking into my grandparents' house.
Wow.
I think there's a couple on campus. I'm not sure where they're native to, but they were in Europe.
So
also.
Do you feel like you have a deeper appreciation for, I guess, not only plants, but just nature in general?
I actually do. I learned a lot of interesting things, that you don't think about, why certain plants are chosen to put different places. So in England, they take a less manicured approach as they do in France, because we started in England and moved to France. So they'll just kind of let plants grow, but they'll put barriers for them to grow as they want in the barriers.
Okay.
Whereas in France, you think of Versailles and Paris, all the really manicured and clipped lawns and special plant shrubbery and stuff like that. That's more French style than English style.
So would you say traveling is a passion of yours?
It is a very big passion, yes. And it's not, that honestly started, oh my gosh. Okay. The traveling passion started when I was younger because my dad really likes to travel. We used to take a lot of cross-country road trips. And
any stories in particular that you stick out to you that you remember?
Yeah, I might have a pretty embarrassing story, but that's literally the first thing that came to my mind. Okay, so my Aunt Holly, she used to live in LA. She was a casting director. She cast for Biggest Loser and Bad Girls Club. Yeah.
Wow.
I look up to her a lot. She has a pretty cool life. But we took a cross-country road trip from Lower Alabama to Los Angeles. And
how long was that?
It was probably 3 days to get across there, just because we stopped at every major landmark.
Right.
We went to the Grand Canyon. We went to the, what are these things called? They're the big dinosaurs in Phoenix. I don't know. There's these... It's in the movie Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I don't know. There's these specific dinosaurs. Penny, come here.
She's lacking attention.
Yeah, she wants me to throw her thing. Okay, but yeah, we stopped in Phoenix. We stopped in Monument Valley, Utah, and this is where the story comes in. So, as a kid, we also used to watch all the National Lampoon's movies.
I don't know if I've ever seen those.
You haven't seen them?
No.
Not even Christmas Vacation?
I've seen that.
Okay,
Yes.
So there's one where they're going across the country to Wally World, and there's one scene that the lead actor, he jumps over a bush in Monument Valley, and I just decided that I was going to do that too, because I'd seen the movie so many times. Yeah. I was like, I can do this.
Simple, yes.
And I'm probably
how old are you?
Yeah, I'm 9. Okay. I'm not the smallest 9-year-old, obviously, but I'm not big enough to jump over this bush.
Right.
And I jumped over it and I cut up my leg, and everybody was upset at me for you over I was crying. Yeah, that was not the best experience.
Did you just do it, or was anyone recording? Is this?
Nobody was recording. Nobody was recording.
You just did it.
Yeah, I just decided.
Did you tell anybody, or did you just decide on your own?
Honestly, I want to say that my dad was filming a video, because he is a big documenter of trips, so he'll get my mom to film him, or whoever to film him. Usually me now, but. So I think he was filming a video, and I just decided I was going to do it in the back of the video. I'm not sure if we have that actually on record anywhere, but
I mean, I would love to see that if it's on record somewhere.
Yeah. But then the Grand Canyon was really cool too. I really enjoyed that experience. And I got like my first, I don't want to say first, but this is like the first stuffed animal I remember. It was like a little donkey, and I named it Rusty. And that also
you still
could have
have
been,
Rusty?
I bet it's like at my mom's house somewhere. But yeah, I really love Rusty. I think I also named him because of the National Lampoon's movie. The son was named Rusty. So obviously I really liked that movie. Yes.
That movie had a big impact on you.
It had a huge impact, like for better or worse. You don't realize it until you're looking back.
All right. I mean, when you're at that age, like, I feel like the most, like, small things have, like, the biggest impact on you when you become, like, obsessed with something.
Yeah. I was pretty obsessed.
Like, I was obsessed with stuffed animals in general. So, like, I would, like, I thought I'd want to be a vet for the longest time.
Okay.
So I would have all these stuffed animals, and I would, like, have a little booklet. And I'd pretend that they were, like, injured.
That's
and
really fun.
I'd be like, this one has, like, a slip disc.
Yeah. It's really specific.
Like, no, I would have, like, specific.
Wow.
It was always a dream of mine to be a vet, but then I realized that, like, I'd have to be dealing with, like, actual animals.
Thinks that through.
And I didn't want to, like, hurt them. And eventually, like, sports took over. I couldn't have done both. But yeah, I was obsessed with stuffed animals. It was, like, my, like, world, though.
That's really, I like that. That's a unique story that I never would have heard.
Yeah.
What was your favorite stuffed animal?
I don't think I had a favorite, but like I would like literally I had a booklet and I would write like the patient, like the animal's name, its injury, like.
Okay, so it was more like human injuries on these animals, though.
I mean, I'm sure an animal can have a slip disc. I don't know why. I used to like think it's cool because it was like a unique injury, but I would also do like a broken leg, and I'd like tape up their leg.
Yeah. How would you fix the slip disc?
Just rest, probably.
Lots
Just
of rest.
resting, I think. And then luckily basketball came through, so I didn't have to worry about veterinary school. But I just feel like things like that when you're little, like you get really into it.
Like hyperfixated, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what the word is these days.
Yeah. So you love to travel. Is that something you want to do in the future?
Yeah, I honestly...
I know that you want to talk about your experience this summer a little bit.
Yeah, I also went to Paris this summer because I just loved it so much the first time. And I only got... I think we were there for like 3 days the first time. So I don't feel like you can do it all in 3 days. So this time I went for the Olympics, and it was really cool. I was there from August 1st to the 12th, I believe. And
it's a long time.
Yeah, it was a long time. At the end, I was literally like scrounging my notes, like TikTok, for things to do.
Right.
And yeah, so I actually did a little independent study. I was trying to see if I could grow my Instagram following through posting content about the Olympics and stuff like that, and just see how I could kind of reach a broader audience through that. And, you know, it worked out a little bit, but honestly, it was just the experience was the best part. And I made a really extensive list of things that I wanted to do beforehand, and I crossed it all out. Like, it was awesome. I love it.
Is there something specific that was like your favorite memory? Right. I know you went to a women's basketball game, correct?
I saw USA versus, it might have been Brazil. Whoever we played, we absolutely demolished.
Really?
So I was really focused on just our team.
Right.
But
what a fun experience.
It was really
Did you see any other sports when you were there?
I went to a women's soccer game, and then I actually stumbled upon the cyclists, and I'm not sure what they were biking, but like it was funny because that morning I had been watching, like I turned on the French news, and they were following these bikers, and then I was like right by the Louvre, and everybody's like, back on, the bikers are coming. And I was like, what? And so they started.
Really?
They were coming in waves, like helicopters were up following them. Like, it was really cool.
Wow.
So that was like a free experience. That was nice.
Yeah.
The other two were, I found tickets off the Olympic resale platform. And actually, did I end up going to 2 basketball games? I might have went to 2 basketball games.
Both women?
Yeah, both women's, but one ticket I found on Facebook Marketplace.
Wow.
Like, people were selling them. So, yeah, it was really cool. I met some people at the games. Like, this other girl was also traveling by herself, and she was staying in, like, a hostel. She was from originally New Zealand, but she'd been studying in the U.S. in Boston. So, she was a really cool person.
That is really cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
Did you get to see the Eiffel Tower? And
Yes, my favorite experience, honestly, was going to the top of the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, you went to the top?
Yes, I went to the very top. The first time I went, I didn't do it, and I regretted it.
And this is a dumb question for someone who has no idea. Is it like an elevator from like bottom to top?
It was it was 2 elevators. There's one elevator that takes you to like the midpoint, and then there's another one that they're like, if you're brave enough, you go to the top. And that was really cool.
I don't think I'd be brave enough.
No, I was actually scared a little bit. I'm scared of I can't do
well
diving boards. I don't.
I think I'm fine, and then I get up there, and then you look over, and then I'm just like, hey, chicken out. Like, there's no way. Yeah.
But
you went to the very top, though?
I went to the very top, and the scenery was like, I don't know. You never would have got that view, I guess. But my other favorite thing, I literally biked everywhere. And it's like, I never would have thought about this, but like, I got to see a lot more things because I was biking everywhere. It was the Uber, like, Green Line bikes.
Okay,
and it was like $5 a ride every time. And I would just bike from place to place and like bike along the Seine. One time, I was biking and like there was this huge group of like older couples and like people you could tell had been like together for a long time, and they were just all dancing to jazz music. Like, it was really cool.
That sounds very wholesome.
It was really nice. It was sweet. But I really enjoyed it.
So your experience in Paris was incredible, and what a special time of year for you to be there too.
Like, it was everything was obviously like Olympic branded, but it was really clean, really nice, and like, honestly, probably more Americans and like people from other countries were there than Parisians, it seemed like. I was hearing a bunch of different languages, and a bunch of people were trying to do the same thing, so I was thankful to have been there before. So I kind of did all the touristy things, so I was able to go to like areas where a lot of people weren't, so that was cool too.
I have to ask how the food was as well. I'm sure it was incredible.
The food was amazing. My favorite thing that I had, I went to this place called Chez Genou, which I found on TikTok. And they had this chocolate mousse that they like just slap on the plate at the end of your meal. Yes. So good. It was so rich and decadent. Decadent is a big word that I just used.
It is a big word, but I mean,
it's really good.
Clearly you're very passionate about.
I'm very passionate about that. That's like a top dessert for me now. Like, I think about
mousse?
It. Yeah.
But will anything ever compare?
Probably not to that. You know, now that I'm looking back, a lot of the foods that I indulged in were chocolate. My second favorite was, I went to this place called Carrette, probably not pronouncing it right. And I had the hot chocolate with chantilly cream on top.
Oh, wow.
That was really good.
So you would say the sweets were probably...
Yeah, sweets were good. And I also went to a fondue place.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was...
Like cheese.
Yeah.
Cheese and chocolate. Coffee. Had some really good coffee.
Are you a big coffee drinker?
I am a big coffee drinker. I try to stay away from it when I have like big things to do in a day. Like, I don't want.
Does it make you jittery?
It can make me jittery, but also it can make me like crash in like the afternoon. So like, if we have a game.
Didn't we once have a conversation about how caffeine you feel like has like the opposite effect?
Yes.
That it should on you?
Yeah. Actually, both my mom and dad, they like drink coffee before bed.
Wow.
So yeah. So I actually grew up doing that. Yeah.
Wow.
I grew up doing that, and now it's like doesn't really affect me.
Right.
I like it during the winter because like it's like a warm cup of coffee, like that's nice. But usually if I'm drinking coffee, it's just for like a fun little drink. Like,
I know, I almost feel like going to Starbucks is less about
the caffeine.
Yeah, and more about just like the experience.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I get really big into it like during pumpkin spice latte season, and I really like the sugar cookie latte right now.
Yeah, you have a special thing that you do with the sugar cookie latte, right?
Yes.
A special way you order it.
Yes, my friend Jenna, she actually put me on this, but it just makes it taste more like a cookie. I feel like the original sugar cookie is not too sweet, which I enjoy, but if I'm going for a little sweeter, I like to put 1 pump of white chocolate mocha in it.
And you do oat milk instead of...
Yes, I do oat milk instead of almond, which I don't know why that makes it different, but the oat just has a little bit of a better flavor than the almond.
Yeah. I love seasonal drinks. I'm truly a sucker for them.
Yeah.
I actually went to, and I don't know if this is seasonal for them, but when we went to Penn State, I stopped at a coffee shop, and they had a strawberry oat milk latte. So they make their own strawberry oat milk into a latte, and it was incredible.
Was it like the best that you've ever had? The best latte?
I've never had anything like it, because like I didn't know how I'd feel about like strawberry with the coffee, but it was so good.
Yeah.
And apparently it was like they're like most popular menu item, so that's the thing, like I'll always have to try like
something new.
A popular menu item. I like to like branch out with that type of things.
I got the black salt caramel latte from there.
That sounds really good too.
It was really good, but at the end, like they had put black salt on the top, so like when I drank the last,
it was
like
salt.
Yeah. Oh, I just tasted it. That was weird, but no.
It was I mean, I just like coffee in general, but like it's more for the experience, I think, for me. So let's talk about your transition from being in Tennessee to being in Indiana, and just kind of what ultimately led to you. Obviously, Tennessee historic program, Pat Summitt is, built an amazing legacy there. So I'm sure it wasn't an easy place to leave. So what ultimately led to you deciding to leave Tennessee and come to Indiana?
Yeah. It was really no like hard feelings. I loved my time there, but with the new coach coming in, I just knew I was not going to fit into her system, and that was very evident in talks that I had with her as well. And obviously, what drew me to Tennessee was the legacy and the fan attendance, like stuff like that really appealed to me as like just a young person going into a huge gym for the first time, and then in contrast, being someone that had played in those gyms for 3 years, once I entered the portal, I was kind of just looking for someone and people that I'd already built a relationship with in the past. I didn't want it to be too hard of a process, because I remembered back in high school, it just like daunting on me, like having to tell a lot of people no and keep up relationships, which I enjoyed, and it kind of helped me in the second go around. But coming here, I just had a great relationship with Coach Rhett, and I remember him always being at my AAU games in high school. And even he came down to my little old gym in Geneva County, and it was cool. And you can't talk to him when you're a junior. Is it like something junior year? September 1st. And so it was still,
he was just there.
It was still in those time support, constraints. It was really cool that he was there, and that just stuck with me. Not a lot of coaches do that. And I think I'd talked to Coach Moore a couple times back in high school, but just going into the portal and talking to her, and just also understanding how she's built this program from the bottom up, and playing y'all.
I was going to say, although you transferred to a new conference, you were very familiar, because, I mean, we played... In my career, I played Tennessee 3 times in 5 years, but I believe you played Indiana twice in 3 years, which is kind of a lot.
It is a lot.
So what was that? Was that like something that helped like play a role too? Like, you remember playing against us, like something we did, or? Yeah,
definitely. When we would scout y'all, like we would know this is a team that is gonna outwork you to beat you, and that was at the top of my list for like pros of a team that I would want to be on. And so obviously playing y'all at home and you coming into our house, I think you beat us both times. Yeah. So I just saw how hard everybody worked and how y'all played together, and I really appreciated that and knew that was something I wanted to be a part of.
And I remember as well playing you last year in Fort Myers. I don't typically, always remember the team's post player off the bench, you know what I mean? But like I remembered playing against you and like remembering your physicality and work ethic and stuff. So when you came into the portal, I was just like, it seemed like a it would be a good fit for you. And then you came and visited, and seemed like you had when I was talking to you when you visited, I was just like, this girl seems like she has her mind made up. Usually I have a good feel with recruits, especially transfers, and it just seemed like you really like knew what you wanted. And you know, it helped that you graduated from Tennessee, correct? So what are you doing now in school?
Right, so I graduated, like I said earlier, like it had to be a God thing.
And in 3 years too, so that's also incredible.
Yeah, I actually didn't come in to school with any credits, so I kind of like wanted to set a path where I could get a master's in my 4th year, because I saw both of my parents went back to school to get their masters, and I saw how like tough that was on them, just having to do that while they still had a job. So I wanted to set myself up to be able to do that while I was still on scholarship. And so graduating, I had planned to do a 4+1 in journalism at Tennessee. I had like all that set up, but here, just talking with, you know, the coaches and Lo, I decided that I just wanted to take a communications route, because I'm still not quite sure what I want to do. But I wanted to be able to get some real infield experience and also broaden my like knowledge of other subjects, not just sports, which is what I got a lot of in journalism. And so I'm doing a strategic communications degree. It's set to finish in June, so fingers crossed that's going to work out. But I've really enjoyed my classes so far. It's been a lot of seminars. I just finished up actually yesterday, but I have this one class that's 6:30 to 9 on Tuesday nights, and it's it's a lot of people that know what they're talking about. Like they have their own jobs, they've already been in careers for like many years in the past, and so I've been really enjoying getting to hear from them and their perspective on life, their perspective on, you know, how the industry we're in works. So it's been really cool. I
feel like going off of that, being a master's student, a lot of my classmates are like 30-year-olds with like wife and kids, and they're like talking to me about how like they have 2 children that are 9 years old, and I'm like I'm 24 and like don't have anything together, you know what I mean? So it's just really interesting. I think in higher education you're able to like learn so many different perspectives. You can in your undergrad too, but I just feel like this next level, because it's so broad.
Exactly.
But do you have like a dream job? Like in your ideal world, what would you like to be doing once the ball stops bouncing, of course? Yeah,
well, my dream job would be something that includes travel, obviously. Whether that's like travel journalism or something to do with sports and being able to travel around the country, around the world. But yeah, that's really my dream. I'm not sure which route I'm going to take. I've recently in all my classes been toying with the fact of just like being a sports commentator. I feel like that just being around so many sports-minded people, I've pretty much have a good background in that.
Of course.
And my whole family is coaches. I'm not really sure if that's the route I want to take, so I think that just being able to give back to the game in that aspect.
And I mean, sports teach you so much. It's hard to separate yourself from that sometimes, but like I feel like that's a great route to take, and you get to travel and still meet new people and connect with different people as well. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
So obviously in season you can't travel. So on an off day, what are some things that you like to do, some hobbies?
Honestly,
other than hang out with?
This girl takes a lot of my time. But back in Knoxville, I really liked to thrift a lot. I had a couple spots that I would hit very regularly. It was honestly bad for me, but she's chasing her tail.
She caught it, by the way, if anyone's wondering.
She caught her tail. I have found a couple of good places here. Don't ask me to tell you the names. I'll have to get back with you on that. But recently, with like the winter, I've been cooking a lot, baking a lot.
She is
Penny
really going for her tail.
Oh my gosh. I've been cooking a lot and baking a lot. Me and Chloe actually just cooked last night.
What'd you make?
She made tilapia
Okay.
And I made this side dish that she put me on also. It's like this, I can't remember the name, but it was like this broccoli cheddar mac and cheese, like just a little, it took maybe like 10 minutes.
Oh, like in the package?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
For some reason, I'd never seen that before. But we also made green beans. I made this baked brie.
Ooh.
I like cut it and put honey and chili flakes.
That sounds really good.
Chili flakes were a little spicy.
I've done something similar with like blueberries. I don't know.
Okay. Ooh. Yeah. That sounds really good.
Yeah.
See, I love cheese, so
I do too.
I'm down for that. But yeah, mostly just cooking and baking. I'm also a huge moviegoer. I used to be a Regal Unlimited member when I was in Knoxville because we had a bunch of Regal theaters. Here I'm an AMC insider.
You are.
Yes.
I was gonna say the movie theater in Bloomington's a little sad.
Yeah, it is.
But it gets the job done.
It does. Seats don't recline.
No.
But they don't have to. I've seen several films there, and it's still a very welcoming.
Have you seen Wicked?
Of course, I've seen Wicked. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Did you see it in Bloomington?
Yes.
I also went in Bloomington. And so there were 2 showtimes, and I thought that showing up 20 minutes early would be sufficient. I got there, sold out. So I had to wait like 45 minutes for the next showtime. Because I was like, it's now or never, because if I don't see it now, I probably will never see it again.
You're right. I knew that it was going to be pretty well, and honestly the theater's never packed.
Never. Yeah.
I don't know why I was proactive in this movie, just because it was so like heavily advertised.
You bought the tickets before?
I did, but I actually went like after a game. I'm not sure when it was, back in November, but I went after a game, and it was basically just like me and 3 other people.
Do you have like a go-to movie snack?
Yes, I definitely do. I get popcorn every time, and I usually bring my own Junior Mints. Junior Mints are
That's a hot take.
They're so good.
You bring your own though. You're not gonna spend the.
I usually bring my
$5.
own. Yeah, if I forget, I have to buy.
Do you get an icy or?
I usually just go for the Coke, normal Coke.
Yeah, I'm a huge Diet Coke fan, so I feel that. Yeah,
I like that.
Well, this is a question I've been asking everyone so far.
Okay.
Kind of on the topic of food, but just what is your favorite Bloomington restaurant? Not a chain, because we asked Lily, and Lily immediately emphatically said Chili's.
I thought she was gonna say Texas Roadhouse or something.
She did say that too, but I wanted to specify not a chain.
Okay.
And I know you haven't been here long, so
yeah.
But any place in particular that has stood out to you?
Honestly, like I might be a fake Bloomington native, because I literally go to the 2 places that everyone always recommends, and it's Mother Bear's and Buffalo's. Okay. So it's like the
both
2
solid
most,
choices.
They're
Can't
the 2
go
most
wrong.
basic choices, but
Buffalo's is good, and it's classic.
Yeah.
You have all the sports memorabilia inside. And
yeah, I would say that's number 1 for me. Okay. I love Buffalo's. I love to go there. I love to order it. It's really
experience.
Good. It's an experience. Yeah. I went in one time. I don't know why I did this, but it was like during a big game. It was so packed. I still waited. But I actually came on my visit, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah,
so
and the owner too. He's great. And I don't know if you met him when you came in.
I met him at Gables.
Yes, he also owns Gables. Yeah, he's great. So Gables is also a good place, a good spot. But well, Caro, it's been a pleasure chatting with you today.
It has been a pleasure chatting with you.
And having Penny, I think she's kept herself pretty entertained.
She has. She's been a little loud down there.
But thanks for coming on and chatting. And
yeah.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, you will.
We hope you loved this episode of Players Perspective. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Stay connected with Hoosiers Connect on social media for even more exciting content featuring IU student athletes. Until next time, Hoosier Nation.